You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 77 for February 2021. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John. How's it going?
Pretty good. We haven't actually decided on a topic yet.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, we are recorded, so, look, we're trying to do things differently, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah, something like that.
2021 has to be different than the last. Okay, so I don't know. Should we just decide what the topic is in the recording since we just started?
Sure, I can cut this out later.
No, don't cut it out. Leave it in. Let it be organic. So decluttering and moving on. Okay, interesting. Or projects for 2021. I only really maybe have two projects for 2021, and everything else is sort of tantamount to depending on what is coming. Like, for example, when is my system that I ordered coming?
2022.
Yeah. So, and depending on that will open up or enable me to do certain things that have been a little difficult to do with the laptop and the eGPU.
Hmm.
Decluttering, moving on. Yeah, I mean that's a good topic, right? I am surrounded by lots of old junk that I will eventually get rid of. That's a project in itself. You know what it is? I never have time. I don't know about you, but like I just don't have enough time. Like I'm just working all the time. And then when I'm done my work, I end up doing a little
To
more work
record podcasts with strange Dutch
podcasts,
people.
right? Yeah, you on the weekend. And then usually an extra one for OG. And and then, I've been busy with helping with the auto club. Lots of little things to do there that eat up my weekend. So, as much as I want to sit there and shred a bunch of old documents that I carried over from the old house that are way out of date, and there's lots of old gear and monitors and stuff that like have died. Like I need to pile all that stuff up, call somebody, take it away, and that right there is an effort. And
Don't you
so,
have like a dump you can go to where you can just drop off stuff?
not really.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
mean we do, but none of it is. Oh, there's junkyards. You could do that, but there's in the U.S. we have a place, and they are not a sponsor. 1-800 junk. Their website. They're also the numbers 1-800 junk. Um, well, actually, that wouldn't make any sense because there's not enough in the word junk, and it wouldn't complete a phone number. But anyhow, so they're a service that you can call to take away stuff. And if you give them old electronics or cell phones or whatever it is in that process, they'll properly recycle things. So I have old electronics, I have old cell phones. Things pile up over time. I have old mixer boards that like don't work anymore, right? And you can't just taking it over a junkyard means nothing, right? You got to take it to some place that's going to recycle that. But also there's yeah, like I'm staring at the old TiVo.
There's no recycling in your area.
We have recyclers, right, for your daily, like your paper and your plastic and your glass.
Not electronics.
Yeah, but not. I mean, there are places you can go to for specialized effort, but it's kind of one of those things where I just want to be create a big pile and call somebody up on a schedule and put all the stuff in the back of the truck and pay them for the weight of whatever that is and then be done with it, you
Yeah.
know?
So
Uh,
you have a lot of old gear that you want to get rid of, but you don't have the time to do it. Maybe it's time to just do it.
yeah, I mean, you got to
Yeah.
find the time. Where's the time,
Just
man?
just make some time.
Yeah.
At least
Uh,
organize it so it's not in the way.
well,
So you have
there's
a
there's a big
uh-huh,
corner of
uh-huh,
stuff over there.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um, but
And then
yeah,
there's
no, I
probably
get
some stuff stuck underneath your desk that's dead that needs
uh
to get it go away.
maybe for you, there's the old servers that like I inherited somewhere along the way that I hadn't turned on and don't need anymore. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's stuff like that. There was a car PC that I bought that I never put in my previous car because it was just didn't have the money to put it in or the time to take not be without a car for like a week for people to install stuff. Um, and that thing is it's still perfectly new in its box, never been turned on, and I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't know. I got lots of stuff like that. That's the mistake you make when you have a house or you live somewhere too long. You things pile up.
Yeah.
So
I had some luck this weekend. I was like, yeah, I have to go reset up my desk because I'm getting a new keyboard. And eventually I decided to put the stand that I got for at the beginning of the lockdown to like the beginning of all the Rona stuff,
mhm.
to put in to use for my work desk. Basically, I had a vertical stand with like two monitors on it. I decided to put the stand next to my art PC, so now I have a whole new setup with. It looks really cool. Lots of that's another side of keeping stuff where you have like old monitors or stuff that you can reuse and stick up there in the air, and you can use it for like OBS monitoring and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's a good thing for keeping stuff, but there's lots of cables I've run into in the last couple of weeks. I've
Yeah,
been clearing out lots of junk
yeah.
from the apartment.
Yeah, I have. So when I lived in the last house, this is where all the podcasting stuff started for me. I noticed what I was doing is I was just I don't know through my 20s, whatever it is, I was just sort of keeping cables or putting them in boxes or whatever it is. I was just piling stuff up,
Mm,
and in a very sort of comical way, I had a stack of gear that was like my DVD player, VCRs, whatever it is, and then VHS tapes, which were from like judging AMV contests, whatever, where they were sent to me for me to watch the tapes and do the judgments and whatever it was. So, like, I had lots of stuff piling up all the time, and then my major lesson was I lived there for like 12 years, and I had a closet that was just full of boxes, and I thought, well, I might need that nice hefty computer box, right?
mm,
When I move out. Yeah, okay. So 12 years later, I moved, and I just had the recollection and enough mindfulness to realize that, like, okay, out of all that time, that pile of this or that or those boxes, how many were useful? And what's the value in just creating so much storage, using this storage area, for that purpose? And it turned out that it didn't merit really anything. So I realized that I need to not keep boxes, not do this,
mm.
not build up that junk. And I also recognized there was some psychological component. What I was noticing is I was sort of filling the perimeter with stuff, putting them on the wall, putting them in on the shelves, putting shelves and I was just sort of creating like a snuggie of junk. And
Your
it's not a
your
hoarder's thing. I think it was
your
just like
pillow fort of boxes.
or whatever. And so I was noticing there was a psychological component to that. So I was like, okay. So since I've been here, I made a significant effort not to pile stuff up. My roommate doesn't get that message because his old habits are still the same habits, um, and he just stacks crap up. I found a box sandwiched against the his sort of like cart of stuff where he just sort of flattened out the box, and I can't for the life of me know why he's doing that. Maybe it's meant to go out for a recycle. I don't know. So like but I became conscious of it when I moved. So while this room has got probably the most junk in it, and by junk it's like the old like a pile of cables and stuff, and old gear over there that I want to trash, and servers in the back storage area, and while I have lots of this is the basement area is probably the only place it's most of this is collecting like this. Um, I'm mindful of it enough that like I gotta get rid of it. So I don't know. For me, I've just noticed it it wasn't just more of a habit. It was a bad habit plus some psychological component to it for me. So
Mm. Yeah, I recently got a new computer. Um,
yeah.
Another one, yeah, another one. Um, I built a 5800X AMD Ryzen 7. So
Yeah.
it's got the 1660 Super in it, and it's got 64 gigs of memory. Woo! It's wonderful. It's actually what we're talking through right now. I'm very happy with the way it's set up.
Yeah.
The only problem is that it sometimes it ramps up its fan, so you might hear that in the background.
Mm.
But with that comes a lot of boxes, and I keep the boxes for the motherboard and some of the components, like for
Hmm.
example the CPU and stuff. And I have so many boxes now. It's just insane. For the last year alone, there's like, and I keep them like I keep the box of the computer itself, like the case.
Right. Yeah.
I keep that for a while, just because if I need like have it returned or something like that, if there's something wrong with it, I just want to have the boxes ship it back in if I need to. Or I have like I keep buying the same case, so I have a what is it, a Meshify C, so practical design for Meshify C,
Hmm.
and I have another one here besides me. That's the old computers, 6700K, just Intel, and I still have the box for that one, and that thing is like 5 years old,
I
and
will.
I need for some reason I want to keep the boxes if I have like a guarantee, like you know, in case something breaks, I need to ship it back. I just don't think it's going to happen, and at some point, I'm just gonna have to throw these things away because it's gonna. I have like those square um, cabinets from IKEA that have like they're squares, and you can put like boxes inside of them.
Oh, totes. Yeah.
Um,
Or
they're
crates.
they're called Kallax. That's the
Okay.
shape I have. They're like square. You can have like multiple squares in a single cabinet, and then you can put like little
Bins.
fabric boxes, fabric with cardboard. They're like you can put them in those slots, and you have like different with like doors on them and stuff like that.
Mm. Okay.
But like I filled one of those up completely with boxes from computer parts and like yeah, they're underneath the hamsters, so
Yeah. My
they're out of
so
the
I went
way.
over to the Container Store last year and maybe even recently this year, and there are these like art boxes, and these art boxes are kind of like the sort of Timo kind of thing,
Yeah.
except they're not nearly as organized or as they're not a name brand or anything. It was just some generic, fairly expensive plastic uh, art box. And so what I was doing is I was taking all of the USB cables. I was putting
Uh-oh.
in the little plastic bins inside this thing, and now I got four of them. And my life is far more simplified this way. And also, they're rugged enough that like I could grab them if I was going to go filming and I needed, you know, cables with me. I could.
Oxo cable.
They're stackable because they're plastic. Um, was it is it Alex Chappell or whatever? Like that guy just always is 3D printing his own stuff, and like I want all the things that he's making, but like I don't have that kind of organized system in my life. Um, so that
Well, I
was
think a 3D printer would be very nice if you get one of those Creality ones like the Enter 3 or something like that. It's very simple to set up, and you can print all the brackets and things that you need ever. I think for you, like if you want to get like a specific size bracket, you can just scale them up or whatever, and you don't have to go to the hardware store to make one of those.
hmm
And this, I'm not talking about brackets now, but you can like make cable guides or whatever.
right. Yeah, I understand. I um I think it's more about I think, the intent in my head, the next intent in my head in life is to literally move out of here and buy my own place. And that is sort of part of where my brain will want to start to officially organize things, right? like I bought a rack out of IKEA, and it's only flimsy by if you bolt it to the wall. Of course, I didn't bolt it to the drywall, um, and it has enough weight or whatever it is, and I have the straps in the back that sort of strengthening, causing tension to hold this thing. And so I put piles of photographic grips and all kinds of stuff on top of it, and there's just piles on the shelves back there, but they're not. I would say that's organized, right? And I know that like anytime you move, my effort and my part of my brain is I want to do better the next iteration, and before I could even move, I need to get rid of all the crap that I don't need anymore, right? I need
Mm.
to declutter my existing, I want to reduce that physical pollution. Um,
Well, if you start before you even move, like if you start now, you can
oh yeah, it'll
you'll
be
have
much
less
easier
less trouble
experience.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also the motivator, right? Uh, my weekends are the only time like I might have a chance to sleep in, which is, just sort of recouping a little bit of health. Um,
And then you have
yeah,
to go talk to some strange Dutch guy.
yeah, yeah. On my Saturday once a month, a strange form of therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's a decluttering is really a positive thing to do, and it's more than just an effort. It's just a mindset. Um, I will say though, when I moved and I had those hefty computer boxes, when I bought stuff, um, I had these nice had a I don't know, a handful of hefty boxes, and they were great for packing. The one thing I did though is I broke them down after I moved here, and I put them in the trash. Um, and I noticed that I was doing that, and someone went to the trash within the hour and grabbed the thing because it's a hefty good box. There was a
Yeah, but
bunch of
like
them.
they're not gonna last 10 years.
Well, I mean, I took the gear out of it, right, in the last house, and they sat in the storage area in the basement, where they were perfectly pristine, and then I put my stuff in it, moved here, pulled stuff out of it, and I collapsed the box and put it out for trash. So I mean, they lasted because they weren't like being weathered outside or anything. Um, so I don't know. I mean, look, the Amazon boxes that I get, those things are flimsy, right? They're made out of recycled material. They're flimsy. You can't
Mm.
use them for structural things. You wouldn't want to move in them unless you just need something to put stuff in and sort of make it easier for yourself to carry, right? You wouldn't want to put actual any kind of weight or structure on them. They're not going to hold up well. They're meant to carry things. They're not meant to um, store things permanently.
Yeah. I just think for me, I think getting rid of the boxes of the cases for the computers and like going through every closet and everything in my house is probably a good thing, and just like
Hmm.
making a pile of shit that needs to go to the recycler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that for clothes as well a while ago. I was like, why do I
Oh
have so
yeah.
many T-shirts of things I never wear? Um, you know,
Throw away
I
the Shirtner shirt.
so I put in my particular where I have like a bunch of drawers. I put a certain rows of stuff that like I never wear, but I'll hold on to or have some sentimental value or whatever it is. And so that's where that kind of stuff goes. Now the shortener hoodie, I ruined that thing. By ruining that thing, it fell apart. And I
Oh
wore it a
yeah,
lot.
it fell apart
Yeah, it
very
was it
fast
was
for
a
me.
pretty thick, comfortable hoodie, but like the cuffs fell apart. Um, I think that was the
I
main thing is the cuffs would eventually sort of untangled themselves. They were not
Yeah.
really that good.
I ruined it by going to a paintball
Oh,
thing, and then it getting covered in butter because they have like butter paintballs because that's more, you know, natural or something.
Okay.
It was disgusting. It was like the butter was like off. It was already
Uh,
like
that's
spoiled butter. Disgusting.
did you go there to ruin it on purpose?
No, no, no. I was like, I'm gonna wear this underneath underneath the like the paintball thing that I got from
Ah.
the place, but like, yeah, it still drenched through. So it was like my clothing was shot. So it was very bad stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a pile of clothes and stuff that I don't wear or will never wear again or whatever it is. And we do have places where we can donate those things to.
Yeah, we have those bins where you can just put in the clothing, but I'm not gonna put like the shortener shirt that was spoiled butter covered
No, no, no.
into one of
That thing
those.
goes in the trash. Like when there's certain things where there's a hole in it, or or it's ripped, or you just put it in the trash. Be done with it.
Well, no, what they usually do is the clothing that goes into one of those bins is usually it's used for they shred it
Hmm. Right,
and
and
use
then
it for
make
filling for other stuff, and
right.
they recycle that and they make money from that, and they reuse that for like charity.
Hmm.
So that's usually what they do.
Yeah, they felt most things that are made out of fleece or felt, I think, come from that. I think jeans are made from recycled fabrics as well. I mean, maybe not so much anymore, but they originally were. Um, yeah,
Yeah, getting re- recycling, decluttering. Yeah.
decluttering. Yeah, I refer to it as reducing the physical pollution in my life, and
Well, that's physical. But what about digital? Because I recently this with the new computer, I had to move some stuff around, and I was like, ah, how do I get this from one computer to the other? And eventually, what I did is just unplug the SATA drives and just put it into the new computer, copied stuff over.
sure. I mean, there are
But
definitely.
like, I'm giving myself another like, it's going to be a problem for me eventually because I need to get rid of um some of this data.
Hmm.
There's like copies of old recordings and videos and stuff that I need to get rid of. There's
Yeah,
just old stuff.
I don't really have a particular approach to it. I have a particular cart over there that has some hard drives that I pulled over time from something. Um, and I think I'll probably stick those in a box for a very long time, and then eventually I'll trash them. I'll trash them like correctly, right? Where what's on them is not really going to be impactful. Um, I know that I have those old servers, and I'm going to pull those. I'll pop the drives out,
Yeah.
and I'll put those drives into the box of stuff to like these are all old, and I'll let them age so to a point where they're so non-useful, other than the elements of them, and then that's it. So the content won't be useful to anybody,
Put
um,
a
because
degausser on it.
I don't yeah, or find a big magnet or something like that. Um,
Or
yeah,
chuck them
so
in a fire.
yeah, I
Because
just
the fire will get rid of it.
I don't really have a good strategy at all for that. I mean, I know there are places that will destroy your drives and whatever it is, but um, I don't really have anything to hide anyways. You're just talking about copies of old OG stuff, maybe.
Yeah, well, for me, it's like I've got some directories that I kept from computer to computer, and it's like there are so many directories underneath that I need to go through at some point to clear out, like get rid of some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's like old photos that I need to go and put in the right place so I can, like, if I need to look up photos for old people that died or something like that,
Right.
that I know where to find them. And I know that Google Drive, Google Photos might be a good option for me, but like, yeah, some photos like from parents and grandparents and stuff, they're not on there because they're too old.
Mm-hmm. You have to scan them. Um.
No, no, there's scanned photos, so I
Oh,
already
okay.
have them scanned, but like they're old scans. And do I want to rescan them? Because my dad has like he has one of those scanners for like photos, put photos in there, and it automatically
Hmm.
scans them.
Yeah, I
You have to
mean,
get
these are
the
just
you can get the negatives or the you have
slides.
slides, yeah. You can scan them with.
Yeah, so there's really decluttering is it is it's a mental thing as well as a physical thing. And then as you say here, it's a digital thing, which is both.
Yeah.
Even though it's not like we can physically touch it and hold it in our hands, it is a form of physical. I mean, it physically lives on a piece of hardware. Um, so I've been fairly organized for most of my life when it comes to things digitally. Um, I like to keep things in file and folders conventions, naming conventions, and structures.
You
So
don't have a junk folder on your desktop where you just drag everything into every once in a while.
nope. No, I do not. I have a primary folder, and then I have it broken down into things like for software, and then software I have individual, folders like development or media. There's some like miscellaneous or support drivers or utilities. Like I have a very particular approach about this, and I'm fairly organized. I have a friend of mine, Jeff. He is he's sort of like a creative phenom in the AMV world. Him and another friend, like they used to make some the most amazing stuff. And I remember watching him. He was working on something, and he was looking for a file, and he was just sitting on his Mac for like a good half hour, and he went through like a I don't know couple dozen um, different folders looking for the file. And then he found files, but then it was just a general name, and he couldn't figure out what the name was. And then he had to open every single one of them to find the one little stupid file he was looking for. And I was just like, I am so not like that digitally. I may not be that physically organized in the real world, but when it comes to the digital stuff, like I need to have like one of three places I know where stuff is. And when I write code, same thing. Especially if I make a web app, I put certain like to put the models in one place, DTOs in another place. Repositories go in another place. Controllers, actions, views, they all go into a structured, organized place. JavaScript files, and the last place I worked at, I would always say to new people on the team, I said, "Here's the thing: if you can find this, then you can find the other three or four other places." I said, you'll be able to find the style sheet. You'll be able to find the JavaScript if you can find the view. And if you can find the view, you can find the controller. And you find the controller, you can find the model and the repository. They're all similarly exactly structured, except this is the repository project. This is the models project. And this is the web project, which includes this is where, styles go and this goes. And so that's just how I operate. So digitally, I'm pretty organized uh,
Um,
in that respect.
we have a at work. I do the same thing as I do for artwork. For like the other way around. For artwork, I do the same thing I do at work. Like my everything is organized by year, and then I have the project. So every pick is its own project. So
Hmm.
I have all the resources that I need for the project inside the directory. So if I use textures for backgrounds and stuff, I put it all in the same directory.
Hmm.
It's like
Yep.
the source files, and then the exports go into the export directory within that directory, and then eventually it gets archived to the artwork storage archive thing.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of artists that have been having issues where their hard drive dies and they don't have a copy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit of a pickle for them. And then I've had to help out with some people that lost like one of their hard drives died, or it was dying, right? So they
Hmm.
couldn't get to it. And then eventually I was able to save some of that stuff. But like when you look at the organization for that, they have like a folder full of
Yeah.
all
Bazillion
all the
files or
source
whatever it is.
files,
Yeah.
like there's PSDs there from like 6 years ago. I'm like, why is this still in your hard drive? Why
Yeah.
isn't this in some sort of cloud storage, or isn't it? Why isn't this like
Yeah.
on a separate drive? You don't need this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can tell you for OG, like, I'm not ever expecting someone to come along and say, "Hey, we wanna buy your whole thing and pay you lots of money." Like, that's never gonna happen. So I don't organize my life in such a pristine way where I have like triple double backups of every, platinum back. Like none of that is happening. What I do is I'll every once in a while I'll buy like a 4 terabyte physical hard drive, right? And then there's like a SATA drive or something like that has a backplane for USB whatever
Mm.
3.0 or USB C or whatever it is. And what I'll do is I will just copy the working files that I have, and once it fills up on my laptop, and I'll copy them off, and I'll regain room. And in the early days, I was like backing them up on DVD rewritables or whatever it was, or creating CDs before I had, could buy a DVD writable. Um, and I probably in the storage area I have those piles of CDs and DVDs where I did those backups, but those things would take forever to do, right?
Yeah. Oh,
And it was just
especially those the
it,
DVD kind. Yeah.
yeah, it was just easier to buy USB hard drives and have a pile.
Well, even the problem with the USB hard drives is eventually they do fail. So you're
Right,
gonna
but
lose
they
stuff.
fail out of read and write, right? So,
No,
uh,
they fail because they haven't been used in a year.
oh yeah, okay. But
And the SSDs too, they lose charge at some point and then they lose the data.
yeah, so the whole point of it is that that is sort of how especially like for the film, I bought multiple of those physical hard drives. I literally have multiple backups of backups,
Yeah.
so that I don't lose any of the content. And even with the new system coming, I have 2 terabyte drive on it, and I am likely to buy another NMV NVMe whatever.
NVMe.
Yeah, I
NVMe.
I can never get it right. Um, NVMe drive, and once I have the thing physically, I'll go grab something off Amazon, and then I will pop it in myself, assuming that the hard lines and all that stuff for water cooling aren't in the way, and it's easier to possibly do that. Um, and I'll add some more, but even then, 2 terabytes is not a lot for editing,
No.
extra space. Um, so
Just from like Polymaticast from the last year and a half ish, I think it's like 100 gigabytes. I need to
oh
some
yeah,
point just write to another directory, write to another drive, and I have like
yeah,
this is the hard drive that contains all the videos and stuff. This is a
yeah,
3 terabyte drive
yeah,
that I use for my like I have them all the old Minecraft videos that I
mm,
made that are
yeah,
on there, and I just keep the source. Just at some point I'm gonna have to delete them, and I think even at some point I just gonna have to get rid of them on YouTube as well. It's like
mm.
this doesn't need to exist anymore.
I definitely have multiple backups of the MP3s, for all the shows, and so I have that, and that's not. A couple of them, I might not have all of OG in one place because that's terabytes. And we're just talking about the MP3s. We're not talking about the backup files. I'd have to double check. Let me,
Yeah.
out of
If you
curiosity.
look at the storage that's used for Polymatic on my server, it's actually quite big.
Yeah. And
All those
so,
2 hour podcasts.
it just seems like easy to spend a couple $100, buy a multi terabyte drive, copy your stuff off, regain room on your, the place where you do all your working efforts. Um, yeah, and actually, so let me see. Okay,
So
projects. Hold on.
every year at the end of the year, I move all the artwork from the last year into like onto my my NAS, and I keep them up to date on the NAS as well. So I just move in the last files, and then I remove them all from my my workspace from my
Hmm.
artwork machine because it doesn't my artwork machine just had a 250 gig SSD in it. That's it. Although I just popped in a 2 terabyte uh NAS drive like a Iron Wolf just to keep some extra storage there.
Yeah.
I just want to have like a copy of everything on that machine. But like if that's what the disk is for, then that's what it's going to be for forever. I just want to have a copy of everything just in
Hmm.
case.
So
And that's like 400 gigs of
in the
data.
case of like Kyle and Luke, I have. So for a while there, I was syncing everything on Dropbox, but that was just like I physically didn't have any. Whether I was putting it in Dropbox, but I didn't physically have the equivalent of that everywhere for syncing. Um, so so for OG, at some point I had all the MP3s like physically, there. I have the MP3s physically backed up on those drives. I have a physically of all the MP3s on my laptop. Um, but I don't have them in Dropbox anymore. But something like This Otaku's Life, I think I have all the MP3s because these files are like tiny comparison. Oh no, I only on in Dropbox. I only have up to show 189, but I think I physically have all of them on my, in a different area on my, like on my desktop or whatever it is. So, um, I don't know. I've been sort of
I
very intermittent about it. I definitely have all of them like sitting physically, on single piece of hardware and backed up to drives. But the source material, yeah, I mean, I'm not. That stuff isn't like because I know it's going to turn into $10 million later in my life. Like
but
I'm
it's also
not
it's also like
concerned about it.
it's also like storing like history, right? So you're
Yeah,
also
right.
keeping some old stuff, like just
Mm-hmm.
sentimental value.
Yeah, and
I just deleted uh all the old folders for the Polymatic for the drops folder. That should clear up some storage for you.
oh, good. Yeah, every once in a while I was like, why did all the storage go? Oh, right, because John had killed killed some stuff in Dropbox.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so that's the other problem when you're sharing stuff, and that's the problem is your habit is not everyone else's habit, which is why I'll use Dropbox for me to store things that are a more permanent concern,
yeah.
or to be accessible when I'm not like available, near my laptop or desktop or something. Um, but also when you share projects, like for example with the film stuff, I will never Dropbox film footage
That's gonna be a pain if you're gonna have
because
to get rid
I
of that.
will I will very clearly state I am deleting this, but because then they'll just like, but you moved it up. No, no, no. Copy it off. Make your transfer it away from that folder because I'm going to delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little sidetrack a little bit. Actually sidetrack. I recently bought like this weekend I bought Stardew Valley for the PC.
Yeah.
Have you played it on the Tesla yet?
I have not.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I really haven't played really anything. Okay, so in the last update, I played the solitaire. That was kind of cool. I've been playing Battle of Polytopia. While I was at the post office, I was there a little early, so I played a game, right? And that ate up like a good 15 minutes. Um, I haven't played. Was it Fallout that's on there? What else is on there? Uh,
Fallout
Fallout, I think, is on there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
on the Tesla?
yeah. My Model
Some
3, I
sort of
believe.
is it some sort of is it the Vault
It's
game?
it's probably the mobile version. It's probably not
It's
like.
probably not Fallout.
Yeah, I think it's Fallout. But
Okay.
anyhow, so well, the new the Model S refresh and Model X refresh, they're getting like PlayStation almost level, gear in them.
It's like
But anyhow, so
your car is your game
yeah, so I never
game
bought
console.
Stardew Valley because it just sounded like something that would be negative for me to buy, meaning like I would play forever. And
Yeah.
look, it took me a long while to stop playing Animal Crossing, for example.
Mm.
Now I still play it. I turn it on maybe every couple weeks. Um, I'm not forgetting about it. So lately, the thing that's eating up my gaming space, which is sort of a side thing to do, something to kind of like wind down the day, is Battle of Polytopia.
Yeah,
The a Dyson Sphere, I got that. I bought that last weekend, and I played that basically most of my Saturday. It's kind of like Factorio like, except that
yeah.
you basically Factorio your universe, not just a single planet. Um,
That sounds like a game for me.
yeah, it is different than Satisfactory though.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It looks more like Factorio than.
yeah, and so it's definitely different than Satisfactory, right?
Is there
Satisfactory,
any
there's no evil enemies or anything. I played that thing for like 10 hours. I didn't. There were no one was attacking me or anything like that. And I'm still on the first planet, right? I was just sort of amassing up, um, that kind of thing. So anyhow, my
This
point
looks like a
is,
game for me.
yeah, it seems like a pretty fun game. I might play it tonight. I got taxes to do tonight. No, I got everything. Um,
We have a. Oh, there's no. Oh, there's
it's
no.
early
Oh,
access.
yeah. There's only single player. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, this stuff like this, it'd be cool to have a multiplayer. Like for Factorio, there's even multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'll
mean,
have
look,
to. I
this
have
is
to.
early access, so
It's called Dyson Sphere Program, I think. Right.
I think it's just Dyson Sphere, I believe.
What I found is Dyson Sphere Program, and it's an early access game.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I haven't yet. So I have not bought it yet, which means I haven't bought it on the Switch. I haven't bought it at Steam, and I haven't played it in my in the car yet. Um, also, the other
It's
point of
on the
view.
car.
Hmm.
Is it on the car?
It's in the car.
Oh
Stardew
wow.
Valley's in my car.
Oh no, I meant the Dyson Sphere Program thing.
Oh no.
No.
No, that's not in the car. The other thing is like, even you can have the conversation point about the new model S and X refresh. While you could play Witcher, I mean, what is that? You're not likely going to be sitting in your garage in your car for 12 hours playing Witcher
Yeah, it's
or
kind of
Cyberpunk
annoying.
2077 or whatever it is. Like, you're not
I don't think that
likely
will
to do
run on
that.
that machine.
Yeah. However, no. Well, according to Elon, the quotes are that yes, it can. Though I don't think it's coming with it. Maybe it is. Maybe
Sure,
that's an update
sure.
that will happen later. Um, but one of the things also that those updates in the back for the back seat, they have an extra like tablet, like screen that's meant for for people in the back to play games. Um, so I think this is more of an engine for a high quality engine for mobile gaming kind of play.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably all ARM based and stuff. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details.
mm,
It's not it's it's better than most people's laptops. I'll tell you that. So,
yeah,
uh, yeah. So anyhow, yeah. So you asked about it, and the answer is I haven't played it yet, though I know it's the kind of game I would probably play,
yeah.
and I'd
I
probably burn
saw
a whole lifetime on.
I saw Captain Sparkles and what was the other guy? Rifkin and Car Corvus and Crumb play that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already played it on the Switch, but on the Switch it's very tedious to play with, and it looked a lot more fun. Like it was easier to select items and select stuff and water plants and stuff instead of having to go with the controllers. It's just not fun.
Mm,
Like there's lots of stuff that needs to be done early in the game that's not fun to do,
yeah.
and it seemed like a lot more fun on the PC. So that's why I got it. So yeah, it's I've it's going to snow tonight. It's like we haven't had snow in such a long time here.
We
It's
just
like
got a whole bunch.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you everything over there turned into Narnia. and that's
Yeah.
gonna happen tonight here in the Netherlands. But we have a curfew at the moment, so everything is locked down, and we can't really go outside after 8:30. So that's fun, except for if you're a delivery person, because then you can. So maybe I'll just order some stuff tonight,
Yeah.
get some food.
Yeah, all the snow showed up, and because the carport is sort of at my spot's in the corner of the carport area and sort of corner of the parking lot area in front of the
You get
house.
snowed in.
And so two things happened. The trash cans got sort of nestled into the snow mound, and as well as the sort of the area in front of for me to be able to pull the car in and out. And so I was working all day while it was snowing, so I didn't go out in the middle of the day to kind of like while it was still easy to move and move it off to the side away from everything. So we have our HOA president owns a landscaping company, so he's got all the like construction vehicle toys and whatever it is, and so he will have his guys drop off like a Ford F-150 with a plow on it, and or he'll have his guys come over and plow out the area. And so they do that, and that's good. That's really nice that they do that. But they all that big mound, that hill, that small mountain showed up in that corner, and they basically plowed in my trash cans and plowed in basically in
Your car.
almost in front of the car, enough to the point where this stuff was heavy enough that I spent 20, 30 minutes one day on my lunch just going out there, not even like for like the 40 minutes to an hour, I literally was emptying out um, the top part of the mountain in front of the car, and then a couple days later, I went back out there on my lunch, and at this point it was starting to sort of solidify, getting packing down into hard ice, and I was just starting to basically whittle away at it, and and then I was like, I did it for another 20 minutes. It came in, I needed a break, and he had his guys drop off the bobcat, and before he went into work one day he took the bobcat and he just cleaned everything out in the corner. Now all my other neighbors didn't have much of a problem, so there were 20 minutes, first time 20 minutes of shoveling themselves out was
But
like
they
not.
dumped everything on your place.
Yeah, they dumped everything in the corner. His guys, when they came through and did the plow, they didn't. They
Yeah.
just sort of pushed everything in the corner, and then the bobcat he uses to sort of pick it up in place and move it, right, turn and move it.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I already spent a tremendous amount of time, and my major goal was to go to the post office on Friday. Didn't end up doing that. I ended up doing it this morning. Um, but by the time so now everything is good to go. But like you know, trash cans were already full, and I needed the trash company to come through and take the recycle and take all the stuff so I could take stuff in the house and put it in the trash cans, and now stuff's piling up in the house because they haven't taken the trash cans yet because they couldn't get to them. so so yeah, I don't know. As an adult, I don't love snow. It requires you to be
We
responsible.
we get it so rarely that it's like it's an event. It's
Oh
like
yeah, no, it's not an event.
trains stop running, right? Stuff like that
Yeah,
happens,
no,
and
no, and especially now that most companies are finally accepting their fate of having to let their employees work from home. There's
mm,
no snow day.
yep, yep,
Remember oh, actually, I don't remember the days where I had a day off because my PC was in the office. There's
yeah,
no more of that. I can't recall the last time that happened.
yeah,
So, yeah. So even when it's, terrible out, there's no paid day off.
yeah. Do you want to go over the fun stuff and the music and stuff?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably a good topic. I don't know. My summary is um I've been a little bit more healthy about not creating as much physical pollution. But I still have that sort of stuff I carried over and stuff that like even for the podcast, like I have a pile of boards and gear over there that like I gotta get rid of, right? And I'll go with the electronics. So for me lately, my physical decluttering is well, I can't declutter my roommate, so that's inherently a problem for me. But it's this pile of gear that
Declutter your roommate. That's a sentence
oh
for
yeah,
it.
that'll be easy. I'll leave. That's how I'll declutter it. So I look at where he piles all the crap up on my fridge and on my tables and all of my furniture, and I'm like, okay, well that will be an effort. The
Anyway,
day that
fun stuff.
happens.
Fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Meme review.
Yes.
Okay, I got the first one. Giant Spider Road Trip. Polymatic link slash X0. I don't know why this ended up on my YouTube recommendation list, but like it was kind of fun to watch. Actually, it was
The Flintstones theme park thing was
yeah. It's
interesting.
like it goes all over the place, and
Yeah.
and that's kind of the thing. So there's a
Yeah.
little bit backstory of why she wanted the spider, but like there's also some like road trip stuff happening. It's yeah, it's cool. Polymatic link slash X0.
Yeah. Well, clearly spiders are a thing for her, so okay. So this is really more for you, John. How lucky is too lucky? The Minecraft speed running dream controversy
Yeah.
explained. So I don't know about the dream controversy. I don't follow that person online. Like I don't know anything about that. But I thought it was interesting. And this guy is Matt. He goes. I think his channel is Stand Up Math.
Yeah, he used to be on Numberphile a lot.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So he he's got his own channel and he does these interesting things and he was kind of working through the statistics of your likelihood for things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I thought you, John, would definitely like this.
Yeah.
Polymatic.link slash XE.
Okay, next one is the secret role of chip art. Polymatic link slash X1. It's like going into like old CPUs and stuff and looking at the die and finding like
Yeah.
all sorts of like tiny artistic expressions from the creators of those chips. I wonder
Yep.
if there's stuff like that on my X5 uh 5800 5800X CPU.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume so. This is where they're
There's a
etching in,
Daffy Duck hidden somewhere.
right? They etch in things. Um, So yeah, it was totally interesting. Though he was wrong. It wasn't Bart Simpson. It was Dilbert.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
just
not the end of the world, but it was totally
you can
interesting.
reply on YouTube if you want to talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Polymatic.link X1
Yeah,
what that was. It's a real interesting video. It's pretty long though.
yeah.
I didn't know this guy. I didn't really check out the rest of his channel, but it looks like he's got some interesting things going on.
Yeah, YouTube has been recommending it to me ever since I clicked on the link somewhere. So yeah.
So I am prone to be interested in these things every once in a while. I think I found one last year. I stopped following it, but I was sort of following it for a month, and I don't know if this is another version of that, but this is someone who likes to play with magnets and probably
Magnets.
even sells
How do they
magnets.
work?
So this is basically high speed levitating motor. This guy basically took a battery and a wire into magnets. Kind of interesting, but if you want to check out the rest of the channel, he does other things like I don't know. I can't even begin to explain it, but he just he's got a lot of magnets, all kinds
Yeah.
of shapes, sizes, colors. Interesting, very interesting stuff. Levitating motor, polymatic.link slash XD.
Okay, next one is Wes Barker, How I Fooled Penn and Teller. It's the magician who goes over his trick that he used to fool Penn and Teller.
Yeah,
Polymatic link slash X2.
yeah, yeah. It's an interesting watch. Okay, so
Oh,
this
he does spoil the trick, so if you don't want to watch it, just don't go there.
right, but he did say like that was like 5 years ago, and he doesn't do the trick
Yeah,
anymore.
well, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the folding process of an origami samurai warrior. Polymatic.link slash XD. See, it's only like 5 minutes long if you're interested.
That was a big piece of paper.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
And thin paper as well.
Yeah.
Lots of folds.
Origami paper is like almost like tissue paper.
Yeah. The website is down. Sales guy versus web dude. This is an old
Old.
video.
Yeah, yeah.
Polymatic link slash X3. Um, I remember watching this when the office was still in another city. Like I've been working for the same company for 15 years now.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
since this week.
When did I
Uh,
see this? It was definitely, yeah, I don't remember where I was working when I saw this, but yeah, this was classic. This is the kind of thing that was like, this was pre YouTube. Uh, I mean, it showed up on
this is
YouTube
YouTube. Yeah.
eventually, but this might have been early YouTube stuff as well,
Yeah,
maybe.
it was early YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
This was when people still used um, Skype on uh, and screen recording software.
Yeah. Well,
That
so
was it.
this is, this is meant to be funny. It is very funny. It's very long. Look, if you're in IT, this is a classic.
This thing
What
hurt me on a deep level.
it did, but then the icons is the best joke.
Is they're
It's
organized by penis.
this is I would say this is a little, this is almost a little, not, this is definitely not safe for work. But
It's on YouTube. It's fine. It's like it's a cartoon
yeah.
shape, so it's fine.
But it does yes, I agree, John. This is just sort of PTSD therapy for us.
Polymatic link slash X3.
Yeah. Yeah, yes indeed. Okay, so this was so I used to follow well, okay, so I still do on and off. Julie Nolte, she used to do who was it? There's like a food channel, and she had a show, and she would show up a lot, and I don't know, I would follow her. I like when she did recipes and stuff like that, and then she had her own side channel called Feeling Peckish, which I definitely linked to videos in the past. And then over time, she just sort of didn't want to do that anymore and started making these sort of online comedy things. What was became viral were her really good pandemic videos last year.
Hmm.
So those are always kind of funny. And so she's sort of a little hit and miss for me on sort of her sort of sketch comedy videos. Good part of the time she talks to herself, meaning she talks to various versions, characters of herself. But this is one of the cases where she did something with Anna Akana, and it was pretty funny. Pluto in Therapy featuring Anna Akana. Polymatic.link/XB. I sent this to the person I know who makes satellites. He thought it was pretty funny.
Hmm. Um, Mass Effect is coming out with a new. There's going to be a Legendary Edition, which is like a remake, 4K, 60 FPS, like a version of Mass Effect. They're going to release it as one thing, and I'm very excited about it. I just hope they don't rework some of the stuff inside the game because I think that should stay.
Yeah.
Polymatic link slash X6. I'm very excited about this and also very afraid of this. I did download the all the Mass Effect games on my new computer. That's the first thing I did. I just wanted to play through them again. But then it turns out that the 21:9 aspect ratio, is that 21:9? It's just like I have a widescreen monitor and the old Mass Effect one doesn't really do that, so that kind of sucks.
Mm. Yeah, I
Uh,
hate that when I'm watching something that doesn't go full screen or I'm playing a game that doesn't go full screen.
oh,
I mean, you get used to it. We
it
do
did
come
play
from an
at 4K 60 FPS on the monitor that I put on the machine. So I
yeah.
did put like a 4K monitor on it, and it did work after some editing of the config.
Mm.
So it did work. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is going to come out somewhere in May. I think May 14th. What they had planned. So I'm looking forward to taking a week off replaying that video game.
Taking a week off. I don't. Maybe that is what my vacation should look like. Me just taking a week off to do things. Because
Yep.
who knows if vacation has any meaning anymore. Okay, so the last in the fun stuff, and at least last from me, Windows sound effects acapella, polymatic.link/XA. Did you watch this?
Yeah. Flashbacks to XP.
Yeah, and that shut down sound.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go through the music. I for some reason there's been lots of music gathering up in my list, so at some point I just wanted to put that in there. And one of them is not really music per se, but like it ended up in that part of the list. But Belsifer, Designed to End, Polymatic link slash X4, Grand Wishes featuring McCall, Polymatic link slash X5, Cup Toast and slash Crumb. No One's Around to Help, which is a remake of a video that somebody made of a message that ends up on like an old Animal Crossing game. It's a weird video anyway. So Paul Link slash X7, Nocturne in Paris by Tony Anderson, Paul Link slash X8, and Kubi's Home Office Concert, Paul Link slash X9. That last one is a very long one, but it's very cool. I love it. It's the great music for like coding and for like doing art and stuff. So yeah, I had it on last night for like on repeat a couple of hours while I was doodling. So yeah, so I decided to put it in there. So yeah, that was fun. So Alan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I don't know why, because I don't really say anything. CHAESS, that's my last name.
Well, if you have another place that people can find you, if we can just link that.
Um, I mean, you want to talk to me, you can find me on the OG Discord. That's oglink.com/discord. Um, I mean, that'll take you. That's not a polymatic link, but you know,
It is shorter.
yeah, it's still shorter. But I mean, that's kind of where I surface, right? Yeah.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/webdevy, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@polymatic.media. Our music is by Sayuns, which you can find at polymatic.link/EK. Our Twitter is the Polymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time.